Hello, welcome to this very video. I am so excited. I am pretty sure that you also are excited to be back. We are on this channel exploring the world of computer code, computer programming, writing computer codes, and then we apply those codes to create amazing application. If you like the idea, you like to do that, then consider subscribing to the channel. Please click on the notification bell because we are going to consistently unveil awesome contents here. And so without delay, let's go into what we have to do today. And in the last video, we saw the RGB system and the RGBA system. On this video, we are gonna be dealing with HSL color system. But before then, I just thought of the shades of gray. Let's take a look at what I mean by shades of gray. Going into the text editor, we have some text already, some code on our text editor. And what I'm going to do now is to delete everything on the screen. But before I do that, I think I should let you see what that is going to look like on the browser. So the code you just saw, this is what it results in on the browser. And if you want to know how to do this, you have not watched the previous video. So please go ahead and watch that video in the playlist. We have a lot of videos there, so please watch them. Thank you very much. So without delay now, we are going to be dealing with one color, but we're going to have several shades of that color. And one thing you need to know is the shades of gray are often defined using equal values for all three parameters. So when we have the red, green, and blue, we're going to have equal values for the parameters. So I'm going to use the second container, that is this one where I did the RGBA color system. I'm going to be using this to deal with the shades of gray. So with shades of gray, we can have equal values for red, green, and blue. So let's make this 255. You remember that I said that when you use 255 for each color, you're actually using the full amount of that color. So here we have white. Now, for now, we're going to be taking off the RGBA from each of them. So I'm just going to have my cursor in all the places where we have the A. I'm going to delete that. So you would notice that the cursor is actually blinking. It's applied to all of those locations. And how to do that is to hold down your Alt key on the Windows and then just go to the areas you intend to have your cursor. Just click on them. And now I can simply just hit the backspace, the backspace key, and all of that A is gone. So, and then we're going to go to all of the alpha values, the A values, and we are going to just delete them. So we'll go to the browser now and let's see the shades that we got. I hope that works out here. Good. Let's see. Okay. And we're going to scroll down and so we can see the shades. This last one, let's go ahead and change this. Okay. So that's there exactly. So it is black. Let's go from the top. Remember, this is white and you know the text color is white. And so that's why you cannot see. But when I do this, you'll see that the text appears. So we know that there is a white background color here. And we can see the various color shades, the gray. And here we have black, which is actually the 000 that we have on that very code. So I hope that this makes sense and you get the gist that you have the same value for red, green, and blue, and that's going to give you a shade of gray. Now let's go to the HSL color system. Now the H represents hue, the S represents saturation, and the L represents lightness. And the HSL system also has, like the RGB, it also has an HSLA system. We had RGBA, we also have HSLA system. So in the text editor, write With the shades of gray, I am going to be using the HSL system that we have here. Here we have the RGB, right? So what I'm going to do is just to copy everything here and paste it where we have this shades of gray. I'm just going to paste it there and change those colors from the RGB system to the shades of gray. Okay, so what we had here is the RGB system and the color names. So these are the color names. We still have an RGB on top there, so that's good for reference purpose. So as we did before, the Visual Studio Code has the color extension here, the color palette, for us to change between the various methods of writing colors. So if I click on this RGB, it gives me the hexadecimal system, and that's we're going to consider shortly or in the next video. And so this is the HSL system. So here H represents hue. The first digit represents the hue, the S saturation, which is the second digit, and L lightness, which is the third digit there. Okay, and so hue, what is hue? It is the degree on the color wheel from 0 to 360. 0 is red, 120 is green, and 240 is blue. So on the color wheel, you can see that. So let's take a look at this one. What is this therefore telling us if 0 is red? So you will notice that that tells us why this color tends to be red in nature. So it is 9. 9 is closer to 0. And here we have 100%. And that percentage is saturation. And so the saturation is the percentage value. 0 means a shade of gray, and 100% is the full color. And now talking about the lightness. Lightness is also a percentage value, where 0 is black and 100% is white. So this is in between. What you see on the screen is like in between. We said 0 is actually black, 100 is white. Okay, so if I change this to 0, which is lightness, let's undo this and change this to 0. So you'll just notice everything is black there. Yeah, so I'm going to change this to 64 as it was. Okay, so when I did 0, you notice that the color changed to black. So I repeat that the hue 100, the first digit value there represents the hue, where 0 is red. So let's quickly change that from 9 to 0. Okay, and we see it's darker, it's deeper in color, and the lightness, we can take it to 100. Okay, so 0 is red, and when we have 120, it means we're going towards green. When we have 240, it is blue. I hope you understood that with HSL. And so you can simply go ahead to the other colors and use the just use the color palette there and click on it until you have HSL, and you're going to see the various ways of writing the color. Okay, and lastly, before we round off this very video, we will talk about HSLA, just as we did with the RGBA system. So HSLA is actually an extension as well of HSL, where A represents the alpha value, and the alpha parameter is a number that goes between 0.0, which means at 0.0 it is fully transparent, and it goes from 0.0 to 1.0. So at 1.0 it is not transparent at all. So by mixing these values, we can be able to see what it look like. I'm just going to quickly put a value, an HSL value, on the text editor. Just paste it. So I just copied and paste. Here we can see the first value is 0. Let's just quickly zoom into that. Okay, good. So the first value you see on the screen is 0. The second is 100, which is the saturation, and the third, which is the lightness, is 50. Now the alpha value is 0.5. And remember what I said about the alpha value. When it's 0.0, it is fully transparent. And when it is 1.0, it is not transparent at all. Feel free, guys, to play with these values. Feel free to play with them. So I'm now going to be playing with a couple of values. I'll just put up 6 values here on screen. The last 6 of them that we have in the text editor. I'm just going to paste this value here, and I'll be changing the transparency value. That's the alpha value. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So I'll just quickly change their values from, we're going to have 0, we're going to have 0.4, 0.8, and let's go on like that. So this is going to be 0 here. So I'm going to have 0.2. Just go with even numbers. 0.2, 0.4, 0.8 here, and let's have 1. Okay, so we said 0 is completely transparent. You can see this is completely transparent. Here's 0.2. Let's take a look at this on the browser. We go over to the browser, and what do we see there? We can see that here it goes. So the first 2 has nothing to do with the HSLA. It begins from here. So 0 is completely transparent here. And so we can see it goes that way down. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. What is actually the value of the 6th one? Let's see what that value is. The 6th one, okay, it's 0.5. Okay, so you can see that the 1 has no transparency at all, and this is 0.5. So if you compare the both of them on the browser, you notice that the last one is actually transparent compared to this. So I believe that you were able to get something from this video. In the next video, which is going to be hexadecimal color system, and that's the last one I'm going to consider, because the other ones you're not going to be using them so frequently, and we are going to be using more of the hexadecimal color system. And feel free to use any of the color systems that you appreciate so much. I actually am so glad that you were able to stick with this video till the end. Remember to subscribe to this channel and click the notification bell. Like this video, I'll be so grateful. And if you have any other comments, you have a question, please drop them in the comment section. Thank you very much. Cheers to your success. See you in the next video. Goodbye.